and welcome to Doubles and Trebles. I'm Adam Smido-Smith, and my usual partner in crime is Matt Pyman Hill, and we are absolutely delighted to have our first ever pro darts player guest, and that is Mr. Danny Baggish, all the way from America. He's currently in a hotel in Milton Keynes. You'd have seen Danny on your screens at the World Championships just over a month ago, where he made the last 32 with a couple of big upset wins along the way. And I think he was the first North American darts player to do that in 11 years to make it to the last 32. So like I say, we're delighted to have Danny on. Danny, thanks ever so much for your time this evening. And first things first, how are you?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. Everything is great. This quarantine is a little rough. I started talking to the walls and the lights and stuff like that. But other than that, everything's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So just for the guys that might maybe watching who don't know, Danny is currently in quarantine in Milton Keynes, where Q School takes place next week. We've already done a bit of a video on Q School explaining how that works. It can be pretty complicated, particularly in COVID times. So you're with the bookmakers, Danny. You're one of the favourites to win a Pro Tour card this week. So how are you feeling with your expectations and what you're thinking about Q School ahead of it starting next week?
Yeah, I know. Everyone is picking me to get a card. I kind of just block all of that out because anything can happen on any day. So as long as I just do what I'm doing, I'm about 95% after COVID, and I think I'm gonna be just fine. Everything will play out like it's supposed to, and maybe I'll get that card.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hope it does. I mean, you might have seen the clip from our World Championship preview where Matt singled you out as one of the kind of players that you might not have heard of to cause a couple of upsets. And
I made sure that Danny saw that clip before he came.
Yeah, I mean, and absolutely you did. I mean, beating Damon Heta in the first round, who was a fancied player. I think he won the PDC Breakout of the Year player at the awards. You beat him in the first round, then AD Lewis. So how was that experience for you and the feelings and, brilliant really for you?
Yeah, I actually, before Matthew sent me that clip, I actually watched it before that. So I've seen you guys multiple times.
One of the OGs, one of the originals.
Excellent, yeah.
So, everyone knew that Damon was one of the, I mean, even though he wasn't in the top 32, he was playing like he was in the top 10. So I knew he was the hottest player. I knew he was going to be the toughest draw. And I was trying to avoid him and Ryan Searle. And once it popped up, it is what it is. I kind of just got to prepare myself and give it a go. But a lot of expectations for him this year at the World Championships where, it might weigh on people's shoulders, a little more pressure of expecting to kind of get to the quarterfinals and semifinals for him. We all know what kind of player he is. So, yeah, what a run that was to beat him and then to get the message about my brother and play Adrian and beat him. Man, what a wonderful run that was.
Danny, if I may, just want to say how pleased I am to hear that you're recovered from COVID. I know you've been quite badly hit with it and it really zapped your energy, but really positive, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who are backing you for Q School that will be delighted to hear that you're on the mend. But just while we're on the subject of that World Championship run, that match against Damon Heta, I remember there was I think, because obviously you got out the blocks really quickly, didn't you? You went 2-0 up. Then Damon started playing some great darts and pulled it back to 2-2. But in that final set, I think you were 2-1 down, and there was just a crazy leg in there where you both missed lots of doubles. The pressure just looked immense. I was struggling to watch that leg. I felt for you guys so much. What's it like to go through a leg like that as a player in such a high pressure situation? Can you try and describe how that feels?
Well, that wasn't fun at all.
No.
I learned, I watched different players and I learned a lot of things from them. And what I learned recently is Dimitri Bergh. He takes a lot of big, deep breaths, kind of composes himself and so forth. And I had to do that a couple of times because I felt the heart beating out of my chest. So, yeah, what a stressful situation. Obviously, I dodged a bullet there with multiple match starts from Damon. And, sometimes luck just has to be involved in the game of darts as well.
Yeah, and then obviously holding it together in that last leg as well, that must have been a real feeling of relief. I just wondered, when you win that match, I've heard you say a few times that if you're comfortable and you feel comfortable, that's when you know you can play your best darts. Did you feel more comfortable against Adrian Lewis having had that win over Damon? Did you feel a bit more settled on the stage?
Yeah, I never really felt uncomfortable. I kind of embrace the moment and live in the moment against everyone that I'm playing. I feel more comfortable every time I play a match on stage. So the more I play, obviously, the more comfortable I'm gonna feel. But playing Adrian Lewis, I settled in pretty fast, and it was great. I felt comfortable. Nothing bothered me, and it was just I just go about my business and try to win the match. I really don't care who I'm playing because I can't control what they're doing. So that's about it. I pulled it through, and I was really relaxed that match for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to jump back in, Adam. I
Well,
know we've both got a lot of questions to ask you, Danny. I don't want to hog it too much,
am I right in saying that against Adrian Lewis, you was playing with a set of darts that were based on Adrian Lewis? Am I right in saying that?
Oh, absolutely.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I bet he regrets getting those darts, mate, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, I've been playing with those darts for probably 2.5, 3 years. And I went to a tournament in Virginia, and my darts got stolen, so I had to pick up a new set. And a buddy of mine gave me those, and I started playing with those, and I won all the singles that weekend and a couple of doubles, and I was like, oh, these feel great. Just played with them since.
That is brilliant. And am I right in saying that you're potentially looking at a new set for 2021 in Q School and beyond? Is that right, or have you decided yet?
Yeah, my signature dart, the Gen 1s, just came out, and I actually started playing with those when I got back from the World Championships. Yep. And man, the CDC series in America, I had 3 matches left, and I played with my new darts, and I went 92, 94, and then I played Gary Mawson, the Mauler, and I beat him 8-1 with a 106 average. And and then COVID struck, and what a bad time that was, man. Bad timing. And but like I said, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Danny. Don't worry, we've still got you.
But like I said, I'm about 95%. I've been throwing a few matches here, and I'm still right around the 88 range. I have to be better. I know I can. I feel like they haven't seen my A game yet, which is kind of scary, So I'm ready to bring it out.
And what's the situation like in the hotel? Is there practice? Are you practicing on your own, or is there practice available with others, or how does it work in the hotel quarantine?
Yeah, just on Dart Connect online, just practicing with others.
Yeah, and I mean,
are you playing with any players that are also in quarantine at the same time as you, or are you playing with guys back in the States mainly, or?
No, well, yeah, a few guys back in the States, but I just played Diego.
Yeah, Potter, yeah.
Yeah, I just played him last night, and I have a match with him tonight, and then I'm going to be playing Danny Baggish just showed up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be playing some with him as well.
Is Danny in the German? Sorry, is Danny in Germany, or is he in the UK as well?
4 doors down from me.
Ah, yeah, right.
Oh, nice.
That'd be nice to see you both get through then, wouldn't it? Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I really like myself and Danny and Leonard Gates. I like all of our chances. So
we'll look out for those names. There's a couple of firms in England are taking bets on who will qualify. So we'll look out for those names and maybe put it in the description. We've talked about the most recent and the present, Danny. I just wanted to go back to the beginning, if you like, and how does a young American lad like yourself get into darts? I mean, it's not the biggest sport in America, and what are your first memories of darts, and how did you get into the game?
Yeah, back in when I was 11 years old, instead of going outside and playing football and basketball with my friends, my dad ran a bar with just pool and darts. So every time I did my homework, I'd put it up and play darts in the living room with my father, and it was great. I've lost both my mom and dad at a young age, and so the 2-3 years that I would play, trying to get better than them. And I did at the age of 13. I won my first singles title in soft tip. And from that moment on, I just kind of took off with it.
Danny, if I could just ask you a little bit about soft tip darts. There'll be some viewers in the UK, especially, who aren't really aware of what that is. But it's huge in America, isn't it? If you could just explain the differences for people who aren't aware.
Yeah, so soft tip, the targets are probably 3 times the size. a lot of 180s, 9 marks in soft tip. And in America, it's just a lot bigger. There's more money in it to be won in soft tip. So that took off. And me personally, I love soft tip because it's more so of what you can't miss. It's if you hit a 7 mark, you might get punished with a 9 mark right behind in cricket or something like that. If you hit a 140, you'll get punished with a 180 right behind you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot more of having to hit in soft tip.
Interesting, you say there about the money in it. As I mean, like soft tip's not something.
Yeah, that surprised me as well.
It's crazy really to think that can be money to be won, and that's certainly. I mean, there's no way near a pro or even a high level amateur tour or prize funds in the UK. So, what would you say the split is between people in America that play soft tip to steel tip? Is it kind of 50-50? Is it rebalancing?
The preference is definitely it'd probably be like 65-35, 70-30. You hold a soft tip event, you probably get a couple hundred to show up, to where if you hold a steel tip event, you'll get like 100 to show up. So.
And would you still compete in soft tip from time to time, or do you not do that anymore?
Yeah, I've always switched from day one. I've always went back and forth. I guess I was just blessed with hand-eye coordination and could adjust real easily going back and forth. So, yeah, it's never bothered me, and I'll continue to do so.
Have you come into a lot of players that have been really good at soft tip, but then just can't adjust to the steel tip game? I mean, there must be some guys who can't make that switch, I imagine.
All the time. So if they started on soft tip, the biggest thing for them is coming over to steel tip and calculating outs quickly. Right, so it's hard for them. Soft tip, you go up, throw your darts, push the button, and it does all the subtracting for you. So steel tip, it's a little more difficult, and they struggle more to where myself, I started on steel tip, going to soft tip. It's like a walk in the park.
Well, and we've seen the counting issues, if you like, from the likes of Jose de Souza, who's famous for it, and we love it really. It provides ample entertainment. So, and a lot of the Asian guys as well that play on the soft tip, and we've seen taking part in the World Cup and the World Championship itself. So, yeah, it's a real it is an eye opener for, like I say, it's virtually non-existent soft tip in the UK, and it's good to get the inside knowledge there. And like Matt says, there'll be people watching this who don't really know about it. And with America being so vast, Danny, do you have to travel a long way for tournaments in both formats? Do you have to travel a long way?
Yeah, because I'm in Florida, so I'm all the way at the bottom. Yeah, it's a flight, and almost anywhere I go, it's a anywhere from 3 to 8 hour, 7 hour flight. Connections can be up to 16 hours, depending on how many stops you have. So. Yeah, it's a long way to get to any kind of tournament, really.
Wow. Go on, Matt.
Yeah, just wondering about the CDC, Danny. I know you've spoken a lot about them and how well they're doing. That is kind of the I believe the PDC actually give money to the CDC to help grow it and stuff as well. But that's kind of your equivalent over there, isn't it, of the PDC? And what is it? What kind of structure do they have in place for American darts players?
Yeah, the CDC is where it's at. Up until then, it was a struggle just to really get to a dart tournament and play the competition you want to play. You know what I mean? And so for what they're doing now and setting it up to where going through the same protocols almost as the PDC with COVID and stuff like that, they're doing such a great job. And I forgot the second question. I'm sorry, Matthew.
I was just wondering how many tournaments a year would you have as a CDC player? Like, is there a good structure there, or is it very spread out?
Yeah, it's spread out. It's spread out for now, but it was usually like maybe once a month, maybe once every 3 weeks or something like that. You had 2 events, Saturday and Sunday. So about maybe 12 events, I believe, that you could hit. And then they have the end of the year playoff. So,
and do you think that is helping the standard improve in America? Are you noticing a rise in the standard in recent years?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, absolutely, big time. I think that we went from there was maybe 5 players that could compete against anyone in the world to I believe there's 10, could be more. It's just a shame that due to travel restrictions and everything going on, we can't show it off over here, and that's kind of frustrating.
Excellent. Just with your PDC experience, the World Series events taking place in America, I'm guessing that would have been your first experiences with the PDC. Did you used to watch these back in the day as a viewer, or did you attend any of the events before you took part in them, the World Series?
Yeah, I tried back in 2007, I believe it was. They had at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. I tried to qualify, and that would have been my first stage experience. I did not qualify, but that was when Johnny Kaczynski beat John Part in the first round of the tournament, and it was a great experience. I was in the crowd, and it was just phenomenal. So yeah, I watched, and I've been watching for a while.
And in your dad's bar, did they used to have all the PDC events from the UK and Europe on the TV? Was it easily accessible, or is it still easily accessible now for the American viewer?
Now, yes. Back then, no, it wasn't easy at all. I didn't watch it back then with my dad. It was more so after, right when he passed, and after that, I was able to start watching and seeing all of it. Back in the Bob Anderson days.
I think it's on DAZN, is it, in America? Is that right? The PDC is on DAZN in America?
Yeah, DAZN, and of course the PDC series, the PDC TV.
Yeah, which we're both subscribers to, Matthew.
Yeah, big fans. I'll be watching all the action on there. Hopefully, be seeing a bit of Danny on there as well this year. Yeah, you obviously won the North American Championship in 2019. That must have been a really special moment for you, beating Jeff Smith in the final. Another really, really top player, and he was fantastic at the recent Worlds. I know he lost, but he was involved in a brilliant game. And what are your memories of that match in particular, and that tournament? I know you dodged a few bullets in that tournament as well.
Yeah, against Leonard Gates, I was down 5-3, and man, I checked out that 140. I have a great memory. I checked out the 140, kind of get me going, and then I kicked off the last two legs with 180s, and then but Leonard had a shot at 121 to defeat me, and he misses the double 14. And so against Jeff, I was up 3-0. Then at the break, I was up 4-1, and then I think 5-1 or 5-2, and then he reels off like 3 straight or 4 straight to tie it. And then I guess there was a shout out. He misses the bull, and I win it. I dropped to my knees and started bawling like a little baby.
That got you into the World Championship, didn't it? I believe
it did. That started the journey and trying to make my dreams come true.
I was going to say, because there's a bit of a theme there, really, isn't there? Because some people would say, oh yeah, you need a bit of luck and stuff, but in that game, you talk about going off with 180s in the big leg. You also did that against Damon Heta as well. So maybe you've just got a bit of a habit of going off with the 180s in these pressure legs. Do you enjoy the pressure? Do you think it brings the best out of you?
Yeah, I love it. Whether I win or lose, I absolutely love it. I feel like if I can go to a last leg decider, I'm in there. Like I want to be there. I want to feel the pressure, and I want to celebrate if I win. So I never lose a match. That's the thing. A good friend once told me, you don't ever lose a match. You either win or you learn. So I love it.
I like that. I like that
Good
saying.
attitude.
For sure. So yeah, and then like Matt said, that took you on to the World Championships last year for your debut at Ali Pali, when we had fans, beating Andy Bolton and then coming up against Aspinall. So what was your kind of takeout from your first appearance at Ali Pali?
Yeah, it was crazy. The only time I felt comfortable when I was down 2-1, 2-1 against Bolton. I don't know if it's because I settled down and I was kind of like, all right, come on, you're down, just people picked you to lose or whatever the case may be. Show them what you got, and I was able to come back and win that match, and I guess I upset Nathan, going up 1-0 against him.
You took the first set in that match, didn't you? I remember.
Yeah, and he come back and averaged like 160 something. I guess I don't know. It was high. It was like 116, but
he got to the semi-finals that year, didn't he, Nathan? I think so. You ran into him at a bad time, really.
He did. But I enjoyed it all. It was fantastic, and it just made me want more.
How did you feel about the fans? Had you ever played in an atmosphere like that before? I know obviously you've had the World Series events, but that must be something else, the World Championships.
Yeah, that's it's unbelievable feeling. I feel the stage rocking just from them going nuts, and it's unbelievable. I would prefer the fans. I love playing to the fans, and yeah, I would definitely prefer that for sure.
Maybe we can get you in the Premier League in a few years, maybe.
Don't get me too excited.
Hey, well, if they can get an event in Florida, you can play, we can attend. Everyone's happy if they can do a Premier League in Florida.
Absolutely.
We touched on the Damon Heta and the Adrian Lewis games from the recent World Championships. Then you went to play Glen Durrant after Christmas. Well, firstly, how did you feel, staying in the Christmas over the Christmas period in the UK? I'm guessing that was tough.
Yeah, I'm a big family man, and we got a couple kids at home, and a young one that's 2, and I wake up every morning with them. So it was definitely tough, but I'm in the World Championships, and I'm there for a reason. So if you're telling me that I have to miss my kids for a little while longer because I'm still in the World Championships going into round 3, I'll see them soon.
And was they over that period, there was a few international players that obviously didn't go home, a few of the Dutch guys as well. Was you mingling with those guys and having a good time, chilling out? Did you get to know any of the players' characters?
Oh, I have. First of all, as many times as I've been over here, I'm new, right? So they are so great, all of them. They're great people, and for them to get bashed if they lose a match and stuff like that, it's just so unfair because they're really not arrogant. They're really not cocky. They just show that on stage. It's their stage personality. Yeah. Outside of that, they're so friendly. Yeah, I got to play. I had a practice partner in Matthew Edgar. I played with him a few times. What a great guy he is. But for the most part, I practiced with Kim Huybrechts nonstop, and so that was really fun. Played some cards with Dimitri and Mensur. Mensur cracks me up.
He cracks me up.
He's a gentle giant. He really is.
He's a soft tip guy, isn't he? Mensur, he played a lot of soft tip, I believe.
Soft tip, yeah. So did Dimitri played.
There you go. Didn't know that.
And then Kim Huybrechts. Yeah, so it was a good time, man. I mingled with all of them, and all of them are good people.
Can we just go back to this poker game? I've got to ask you about this poker game. What were they like? How they are on the stage? Was Dimitri just cool and calm every time he got a hand, and was Mensur, all over the place? You've got to tell me what it was like. Who was the best player? Did you win?
No, we played twice. We had 2 tournaments, and I won one of them. But so. Even trying to call a bet or anything like that, Mensur takes his time, and I'm smacking him in the arm. He's showing me his hand, and he's like, "Oh, like it's a life decision." And I'm like, "Come on, man, what are you doing?" So yeah, great people. They're all the same.
I'm just painting a picture in my mind. We're Christmas Eve. We're in some hotel in the middle of London. You can't go out. There's 4 international lads, all different characters and languages, as it were, sitting around a poker table. I would love to have been a fly on the wall there, to be honest. But
I'd have loved to have been playing. Yeah.
On a more
absolutely.
On a more serious note, you mentioned practicing with Kim Huybrechts. I thought, and I think Matt did as well, that was the best we've seen him at the World Championships for a long time on TV. I was really genuinely impressed with him. And was he showing that on the practice board as well, I guess? And good on him, I thought.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. When he played Ian White, I'm a big person on Facebook and social media and stuff. I just like to interact with the fans and so forth. When he played Ian White, there were so many people that picked Ian, and I kind of snuck in there with a comment. I said, "You guys be careful. The way Kim is playing in this new setup, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins 3-1." And he did. I knocked it right on the door, right? And,
better tips than you get on this channel. Just follow that.
It's not, I'm charging people. No, I'm just kidding, DRA. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. Trust me.
It was absolutely wonderful to watch him play, and he was playing like that in the practice room, and I felt like he was going to go on a good run as well.
And I think with Kim, it goes back to the World Cup with Dimitri, because word on the street is that he had a bit of a word with Dimitri, and ahead of or during that tournament, Dimitri went on to, he did really well in the Grand Slam and other events, and then Kim's gone on as well. So that little get together and tournament for those two Belgium guys seems to have kicked them both on in different ways, and I'm impressed by both of them.
Yeah, I think you've seen your future World Cup champions in those two. If it stays that way and Kim stays on form, which I strongly believe he will, just a wonderful pairing, and they're both getting on well.
Well, in our Masters preview, Danny, as you might have watched, there was 3 of us on. We all said that Dimitri van den Bergh would win. Then he went and put in his worst performance on TV for approximately 2 years, which was typical because we tipped him. but we'll move on to that. So on to the actual game with Glenn after Christmas. We thought you was unlucky not to force a final set, really. That was, pivotal. But yeah, what was your thoughts on that games, and what was your takeout from that?
Yeah, I got off to a slow start. You just can't do that. I felt the same as I did the first 2. Very focused. They just weren't going in, and that's all it was. I felt like, and then I finally got going and make it 3-1, then 3-2, and I have nightmares of that one dart at 32 for Glenn. But the way that the match was going, and the way the way it just flipped and turned, I feel like he misses that, I win the match because I have the throw in the last set.
I was literally going to ask you that. I was watching it and I was thinking, if you take this 3-3, you were going to get over the line there. And obviously a great tournament for you, but was there any kind of regret at the end, thinking it could have gone even further, because you look to be playing so well?
Yeah, absolutely. I was, my doubles were good for the most part. I'd always have that one game where it was a rough patch, but averaging, low 90s to almost mid 90s and hit my doubles. And yeah, I really thought that I was going to get past Glenn and not have to come to Q school. That was my feeling. I thought I was going to make a run to the quarters, and I strongly believe that. So it was just unfortunate. He just outplayed me there towards the end.
I just wondered if you spoke to Glenn, because I know you've had COVID since you played him. He's had COVID and suffered quite long term from it. A few months ago, have you spoke to him in the meantime regarding your experience with COVID as well?
No, not afterwards. He's not one that I really keep in touch with.
I believe that Glenn actually stole your theme, your walk-on song. So I was seeing on Edgar TV that you've got a bit of beef with Glenn Durrant.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody noticed that, but
I noticed.
Yeah, my first World Championship experience, and I'll tell you why I picked that song and why I changed it to that. After I beat Andy Bolton, I went to a pub, and when I went to the pub, there's a group of young gentlemen of 6 or 7 in the corner, and they recognized who I was, and they came over and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I apologize there. And they came over and they were like excited to kind of see me. And they're like, "We just watched you on TV." And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And they played Pump It Up. And when they played Pump It Up, they changed the words. And they were like, "You've got to bag it up. Don't you know? Bag it up." I said, "That's brilliant. That's brilliant." Yeah, so I changed it. And then Glenn uses it too.
I was unaware of that, actually. Yeah, so yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on you, Glenn, because it was funny. I was at the Winter Gardens in Blackpool, and Glenn. I was actually sat on the next table to Glenn's family, and really nice fella, and he's done really well since moving over from the BDO, but hasn't he? So
absolutely.
Yeah, next time I see him or his family, I'll have a word regarding the theme tune. And we could have. What if you and Glenn play each other on TV at some point this year? There's going to be big.
Well, you
big
could
fallouts.
maybe put the theme tune on the line. Winner takes the theme tune.
Yes,
I know you like to have a gamble, Danny. So maybe put that out there. Yeah. Maybe we can get that sorted for you.
100. Look at my face. 100% challenge him to that.
Yeah. All right.
Put that in the title of the video. Danny Baggish
calls out Glenn Durrant.
Clickbait. Yeah, I like it. So, well, that brings us on perfectly to Q School. I know we touched on it at the start, Danny. Just going back to last year, if you don't mind. I know you was due to play and then didn't. It probably touches on your family orientated, as you said earlier. So yeah, was that the case last year?
Yeah, the the friend that was watching, best friends of probably 10 years or more, was watching my son at the time at the World Championships, and she took 3 weeks off of work to watch him for us, and could not watch him again come January for Q School. So we had someone else in line to watch him, and about three days to a week before me leaving, she backed out. Like I said, I'm a big family person. I won't leave my son with just anyone. So I just made a decision to stay home. I knew Q School would always be there, and that's that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And then like I say, yeah, this year I know Matt's touched on it as well. And yeah, what's the format? Is it 5 days Q School? Is that right? Have I got that right? 5 days of competition?
3 days in each stage.
I think it's slightly different this year.
There's
There's a first stage, isn't there now? And I think you come in at that first stage, don't you, Danny?
Second. I play on the 11th.
Oh, you are? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you've got to get to that last day. Is that correct? There's two. Yeah. So what is it that when you play for the first time, what have you got to do to make that final stage? You just think you've just got to sort of play to your normal game? Do you think you have to play every day? How do you see it going?
Yeah, they take the top 4 of each stage of each day. I just want to come out firing and be done in the first day. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about anything else, and that's my mentality coming in to win and make it to the top 4. If I don't do it the first day, I want to do it the second day. If not, then I'll have the pressure on the third day, which I'm okay with.
Well, yeah, we've already.
Just give us a little bit more into your insight into your practice at the moment. Are you practicing every day? How long for? I know you said you played matches on Darts Connect, but do you have a set routine?
No, not really. Well, when I'm practicing, I don't ever practice doubles. It's just scoring power for me. I feel like if you practice scoring power, you'll get the 3 to 6 darts you need at the double. So that's all I've been doing probably for the past year or two. And it's worked out pretty well for me, and I just keep doing it.
That's really interesting.
Because
I remember Simon Whitlock's famous for saying he only practices doubles. Now, whether you believe that or not, but that's what he said. That's what he says when interviewed, and you're the opposite of that. So yeah, it's really interesting to amateurs like Matt and myself. You know, hearing how the pros really practice.
I practice everything, and I'm terrible at everything. So maybe I should just focus on one thing. You know,
there's something. I have great advice for you, Matt.
Yeah, go on. I was going to say, have you got any advice for amateur
100%.
We need a lot of advice.
This is for all the amateur players out there. If you're struggling, just switch to soft tip because it makes everyone better.
Right, that's me sort of. Then I'm going
to get on Amazon.
Yeah,
soft tip.
Yeah, because it's the more I genuinely though find the more I actually practice at home on my own, the worse I get. I need to be playing other people, regularly. That's how I find out come on, but everyone's different.
I'll give you my personal experience. I know nobody's watching this video to find out about my darts ability, but just while I've got you, Danny, So one day I'll be chucking and it's going really well, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm actually improving it, and then I come back the next day and I just feel like I've got to start again. I've lost all rhythm. How long did you have to play it? I mean, maybe you're just naturally talented, but do you ever feel like you've lost your rhythm? And how would you try and get that back?
Yeah. I mean, all the time it comes and goes, but that's kind of like the mental part of it, of just saying, okay, you got to fight through it and keep throwing and keep playing. Another phrase that I love phrases, and they stay with me. They say, don't let success get to your head, and don't let failure get to your heart. So the failure part of it is, don't feel like you failed, and even though you're throwing bad and you feel like your game is gone, don't let it get to you. Just keep going. It's all about muscle memory. Like I said, I'm 20. This is my 26th year of playing darts, and I'm finally peaking. Right. So if you're at 1, 2, 3, 4 years, I always tell people you haven't put your time in enough to get mad, because it takes time. It takes time. Just build it up, play darts, never get mad at yourself, and just continue throwing. You'll get through it.
Some pretty solid advice, I must say. Go on, Adam. I've got a few things I still want to say, but I'll let you go.
Just going off topic a little bit, the nickname the Gambler. I mean, that is absolutely perfect for our first guest because we're from a gambling background. There's a gambling kind of twang to our videos and that. So yeah, where does that come from? I love it.
Everywhere I go, I'm always trying to win a beer from somebody.
Oh, good.
Yeah, whether it's flipping a coin, asking people to pick numbers, and like I'll ask you, Adam, to pick a number 1 through 100. And I'll say, Matthew, you want even or odd? And you'll tell me, and he'll pick it. And then, whoever wins, the other person buys him a drink. Everything. Favorite colors. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, I'm making 30 to 40 dumb bets at a dart tournament in America to try to win beers or shots.
Oh, well, I love it. Yeah, you and Matt would be great on a night out. I'm not a very good drinker, but
I'm looking to make it happen, Danny. I'll make you a bet right now. If you get to Q school, I'll buy you a beer. Right. So you get qualified at Q school and name your pub. I'll come meet you and get you a beer.
I have a better one.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. If I don't make this Q school, you buy me the beer. If I do make the Q school, I'll buy you the beer.
Okay, I like it. Now I'll be cheering you on, but now I know I'm in the safe haven that if you don't get through, I can drink my sorrows away. So
that's exactly right. And my mentality is I want to spend my money and waste it. I'm wasting it for a good reason.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I'm going to say that to my missus and see what she makes of it. I'm wasting my money for a good reason. I can't see it going down very well. I'll try it. So, yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Go on, Matt.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to ask you about, is it Target that you're with, Danny?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how did that deal come about? And can you tell us a little bit about your darts, what you like in your dart in terms of the grip and the weight and everything?
Yeah, it's Target. I can't believe I'm actually with them. I don't think they've sponsored a North American player, to be honest with you.
First, yeah.
So I had a long talk with Gary, and they've spent so much time with me over the phone, going through the sponsorship with them. If I need anything, the specs of my darts, they've taken so much time with me, and it's almost like they're treating me the same as whether you're Rob Cross or Phil Taylor or Adrian Lewis or whatever the case may be. So that's how I will stick with them as long as I can, because as long as they want me, because they're just so respectful in that way. Yeah, the darts, it's got a rounded edge, right where I hold my dart, where I put my thumb at, is more towards the front, and that's where a little more micro grooves are towards the front. So other than that, it's a straight barrel. It's pretty smooth, and it flies great.
That's great. It's really interesting to hear about where you grip. So, what, your thumb is quite low down the dart, you would say, compared to most people?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is that? Just how it feels natural for you, or have you purposely tried to move that thumb a bit further down?
So when I was growing up, I used to mock dart players. As a kid, I used to like hold it the way they hold it.
I think we've all tried it, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm 37 years old. I'll be the first to admit it. That's okay, guys. So I used to stay at home, and I used to, if I hit a 180, as a 14-year-old, I'll be like, "Go on, Phil," act like I'm Phil or whatever the case may be. So, so I just got used to it. I can't remember Peter Manley. He used to hold all the way at the front.
From the same town as me, Carlisle.
Oh, fantastic!
So probably the two most famous people to come out of Carlisle, to be honest, me and Peter. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's close. But
yeah, it's close.
Peter,
you can come back on, Danny. You can come back on.
He used to hold it from the front of the dart.
Yeah, he did.
He was the first one that I watched where I started holding it close to the front and kind of switching my grip towards the front, and it just felt comfortable from there.
Nice. So what you would say your throws changed quite a lot. Did you try various different throws before you settled on that, and you still change it now?
Absolutely, I still change it now. This year you see me. You might not see me as, and I changed it because I used to have dartitis, right? And I still have it to the day. And a lot of people don't know that, but I still have it to the day. I have trouble letting go of the first dart. I'll let it go and it'll feel smooth. But if I'm drinking, it just feels natural. So, yeah.
You'll have a few before you get on the stage, then
Oh,
ideally, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I'll still change it. I might go through this year, and then I might be warming up one day and mess with my dart, and it might feel great. I'll start throwing that way all the way through.
That's really interesting. I wouldn't have thought that you'd be able to change and keep playing to that such high standard. I think that shows how much natural talent you've got, mate, to be honest.
Thank you.
Just again, changing the topic slightly, you've already said a couple of names, but would you give us any Americans to look out for under the radar, whether that be in Q School or for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, myself, and I'm really, really happy to see that Leonard Gates is going to Germany, because I'm gonna be honest with you, he's probably one of the most natural U.S. dart players I've ever seen in my life. He's so good, and he averaged probably, I don't know, he had the second highest average last year at Q School, 93 or 94, I believe. And didn't get in, and that's unfortunate.
He was very unlucky not to get in, wasn't he, Leonard, last year?
Unbelievable. But with all that said, no disrespect to any of the U.S. players. I know Larry's playing good. Darren, I don't think he's going to try to come over again. But Chuck Pulio, he plays.
I've seen Chuck. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been playing good. When he comes over here, he doesn't play as good at home, but that's probably a lot of people. Jacob Womack, a young player, he was going to come to Q School. Jacob Womack,
That's a new name for me. Yeah,
he's a young kid, and he's a really good player. A really good player. There's a few out there that I would say, but me personally, I think myself, Danny, and Soldier, and Leonard Gates. Sorry, I think we're the three to really push and make a run.
Well, good luck to you all. It'd be nice to see you all get through. Really, I thought Danny Lauby. That was the first time I'd seen Danny play live, and I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. In that game again, was it Ryan Searle was playing when he very nearly knocked him out? Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and I want to interrupt you for 1 second. You said you hope us three get through. I'm not trying to be mean, but I hope I get one, and then one of the others get one. No disrespect to either one of them, only because then I don't have to compete for the World Cup spot.
I was gonna say, yeah, you must be desperate to represent America at the World Cup.
That's my next goal. That's my dream. I want to represent the U.S. at the World Cup.
Well, I think it's a very realistic one. If you can get that card, I think you'll be an absolute shoo-in, mate, to be honest. But yeah, I think we should probably let you get off, Danny, shortly. We've kept you long enough, haven't we? It's been an absolute pleasure from my perspective. I've absolutely loved it, and hopefully we can have you back on in a few months. And
when you've got your pro card,
you've got to get that card first, yeah, or I'll get you a beer, one or the other.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, if I get the card, then let's talk about that experience.
Yeah,
nice one.
Post COVID, when we're all vaccinated, I guess that will be the case. But that's a completely different subject that we don't want to be touching on. But
we need a whole new video for
that. Yeah. We've all got opinions. But yeah, that's Danny. Like I say, I'm really, really grateful, and as is Matt. And really, thanks for your time. And we wish you the very, very best of luck next week. It's been brilliant having you on. I've really enjoyed it. Hope you have as well. So that's superb.
Absolutely. You guys do such a great video. Like I said, I watched it before, and continue it. I'm going to make sure that I push this and share it. And I thank you guys. Y'all are great.
Brilliant.
Johnny, if we get big, mate, you'll always have been the first ever guest on Doubles and Trebles. No one can take that away from you.
That's here recently. That's not the only first, 170 checkout.
Yeah. Oh, let's get that mentioned. Can't let the video pass without that. First 170 of the World Championships,
Yeah, I have a great story, a real quick story.
Well, as long as you want, you can have as long as you want.
Listen to this. So, I'm in the warm-up room, and it's Rob Cross, Kim Huybrechts, and Devin Peterson, and we're all having a chat, and we play this game called 170. Where you throw the first two darts at the 20. If you go single, double bull, that's 90. single, triple, double bowl. That's 130, 170, right? So you go 1, 2, 3 points. And it's the first 1 to 10. So we're all talking about it and like, yeah, we'll play. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm playing with these 3 guys. Like, this is so awesome. So let's play. And I won.
So you're calling yourself the 170 king now?
Well, when I check out the 170 against Adrian, all in my head, I'm thinking, oh, if you hit this, it's 3 points. Rob Cross and Devin Peterson were playing the same night I was, or the same day. So when I get back to the players' room after defeating Adrian, I see both of them, and they're looking at me laughing. And they're going, oh, 3 points, mate. Great job.
Hey, but did you see last weekend Michael Smith hit 2 170s in the same game and lost, amazingly?
So 4 checkouts over 120, I think, or something.
Yeah. 152 and a 136 in there as well.
Yeah,
and you
stunning.
lose.
Yeah, stunning.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you guys for having me on. Thank you guys so much.
We appreciate you. Brilliant.
Yeah, Danny, can't thank you enough, man. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely superb. So, Matt, you do the honours and ending the recording, young man.
I certainly will, and hopefully we'll be back with some more player interviews in due course. But obviously we'll have some Q School content going out. Hope to tell you all that that Danny's got his Q School card. I'll accept my beer if not, but I would much rather have the card. And yeah, we're going to have some. Obviously, we've got the UK Open on the agenda as well, and it all kicks off again. So exciting times for the channel, exciting times for Mr. Baggish, and hopefully plenty more good times ahead. Thanks very much for watching.